Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the official nomination ceremony of the Trackmania Awards 2019. I am Thomas Mengozi, aka GGeek, and accompanying me throughout the night is none other than Eirik Holdal. Hello, Eirik.
Hey man, how are you, man?
I am happy to be here. I'm nervous because I'm doing the realization, but I hope everything will be fine. And yeah, I'm looking forward to see the reveal of the nominees for the 27 categories that are up for grabs right now.
Yeah, it's been a long project in the making. I mean, we're already in April and I plan to do this in January, but some technical problems. So in the end, you had to be the man who saved this project and had to do this in the last minute. But at least here we are. The nominations are about to happen and the nominees are about to be revealed.
Exactly. So we've got 27 awards up for grabs today, and I hope I got this right. Yes, so our first award for tonight, we're gonna kick it off right away with Story of the Year, the biggest storyline that we've retained from this entire year of Trackmania that has been 2019. Our very first Story of the Year is the comeback of Trackmania United. Now, United itself was pretty much dead in the water back in 2018 with only a few 3v3 cups being held with less than 10 people attending. But in 2019, the people started coming back again. We got new 3v3 leagues actually being restarted, and we've got people that were active 10 years ago that have been coming back to actually take the fight to some of the best people in the game, and actually taking a little bit of a fight to some of the newer people in the game, leading to incredibly unpredictable matches. 2019 was definitely the year of United. On to the second nominee on our list, we have Riolu's Trackmania Turbo World Records. Now, back in December 2018, Riolu already had 130 out of the 200 world records, leaving them with 70 of the most difficult and random maps in the entirety of Trackmania. The final map, 004, was all about a random cut, which took Riolu 42 hours to get, yet concluding this insane journey, which is arguably the biggest Trackmania achievement ever.
To discuss that, but yeah, I heard about it, and of course, it's yes! It's done! Yes! Oh my!
Our third nominee in the category for Story of the Year is the Nadeo es Nadeo story. After a couple world records had been hunting down in the Trackmania campaign in early 2019, a real hype started coming again, with people coming back to hunt the campaign maps throughout the entire year. The hype lasting for months, and in the end, only 9 out of the 65 former world records stayed unbeaten, with players continuing to actually get battling to that with each other to improve world records. There have been over 100 WR improvements over the course of the year, making 2019 an unforgettable year for TMNF. Our fourth and final nominee for the Story of the Year honors is the introduction of the Trackmania Grand League. The Grand League kind of came out of nowhere, sponsored by came out of nowhere on the big stage of the scene, shaking the competitive scene to its very core, and great departure from what we saw in the tried and tested esport formula. Backed by Nadeo and Ubisoft, it was met with a lot of criticism, but also a great deal of praise to showcase Trackmania to new audiences at the cost of the existing disciplines, leaving 2020 a question mark as to how things will proceed. Moving on to our next category in our list, we have the Lagoon Player of the Year, the player who has won the most time, who has been the winningest in the Lagoon scene so far. Now, actually, I'm gonna have to wait a few seconds right here. I need to bring up my notes. I'm really sorry about that. That is unforeseen. There we are. So, our first nominee for Lagoon of the Year, Player of the Year honors is none other than Marius89. The Safemeister has got world records on all 3 of the XD Race time attack maps. Got himself 2 Lagoon KM wins under his belt, along with all of the 10 series green STMs. Our next nominee for Lagoon Player of the Year honors is Lars. Compatriot from Marius89, he's got all of 50 Lagoon STMs from 33 at the beginning of 2019. He bagged himself 2 out of 3 XD race wins, with a second place in the third race, and 1 second place in a race time attack map from the XD race, and he's also won the only Lagoon Countdown KO. Our third contender for Lagoon Player of the Year honors is Vortex. His pedigree is maybe not as strong, but is still really decent with 1 XD Race map win, 1 second place in XD Race time attack map. Our fourth and final contender for Rookie of the Year honors, actually multiple world records in the MV title pack, and 1 Lagoon KO win for him. Our final contender is Bresso. Bresso is the one with the XD Race map win, with the second place on an XD Race time attack map. I'm really sorry that I kind of mixed the two together, it was not on my runner. Moving on to our next category on our list, we have Content Creator of the Year, rewarding people that have made valuable contributions to the community in the form of maps, videos, or whatever else. Our first contender for Content Creator of the Year honors is Big Bang 1112. Big Bang 1112 is the main developer and maintainer behind the Nadeo and VMix title pack, which he kept maintained throughout 2019. But aside from that, he's also worked on leaderboards, a fully fledged leaderboard manual link for all of the campaign maps from TM2 title packs. But perhaps his most impressive work is the creation of the Challenge title pack, a sandbox title pack allowing you to run all of the Nadeo maps and modify them to your leisure. Our next nominee for the Content Creator of the Year honors is Florenzius. Florenzius is known as the lead developer of the Unbitten studio, and along with his team, back in the July of 2019, he actually released the recreation of snow in Trackmania 2, being Alpine 1. A little bit later in the year, in December, he released the Cranked Up feature update, featuring quality of life improvements such as a skin selector, but most notably a fully featured platform campaign. Our third nominee in the Content Creator of the Year honors is Erwin Weber. Erwin Weber is mostly known for being the man behind the Electronic Sports Challengers Arena matchmaking platform, or ASAC, which he kept alive throughout 2019 with various seasonal competitions. He's also created the ESAC podcast to give the lowdown on the latest developments of the Trackmania scene, on the Trackmania competitive scene, and he's also credited with the competitive open map pool concept. Moving on to our fourth and final contender for Content Creator of the Year awards, we have Arcus. Arcus' main contribution to the Content Creator of the Year award comes in the form of the release of the Star Trek 2 campaigns for each and every single environment in Trackmania 2, increasing the replayability of each title significantly, and also bringing back something that we haven't seen for the best part of a decade. Moving on to our next award on our list, we have the Canyon Player of the Year, one of the, rewarding the winningest people in the Canyon universe. Our first nominee for Canyon Player of the Year awards is Australian player Mebet12 from Team Amplified. 8 Smurf Cup Canyon wins under his belt with 4 second places, first 1 map win and 1 second place in the CEP Season 5 Grand Final, and achieving 3rd along with his team. He's also finished 3rd place in the Professional Enduro Cup. Our next nominee for Canyon Player of the Year honors is Riolu. Riolu is the winner of the CEP Season 5 Canyon Endurance Premiership, along with Team Sun, comprised of Lars, Marius89, and Taxon, winning 2 maps and recording a 2nd place finish in the 3rd map on the Grand Final. Also got himself 2 TTC Canyon wins, and also got 1 win in the Professional Enduro Cup Canyon. Our third nominee for Canyon Player of the Year is Cloud, the Dutchman from Team Amplified, having won 8 Smurfs Cup Canyon along with 5 second places and 2 third places. Got himself a 2nd place finish and the 3rd place finish on the Grand Final maps, and got 4th overall as part of High Boys Academy in CEP Season 5, and also bagged himself 1 XD race win on Canyon. Our 4th and final contender for Canyon Player of the Year is Suram. The Norwegian claimed 16 Smurf Cup wins along with 9 second places and 3 third places. He's finished 2nd place in the CEP Season 5 overall, along with his team Demise. He got himself 2 second places and 1 third places in the Canyon XD race, and also came in 3rd place in one of the TTCs. Is the stream available on Is the stream? Are you guys able to see me, guys? I know we're talking about voting and stuff like that, but can you guys see me? Yes. Okay. I'm just making sure, man. Okay. Moving on to the next award of the year, we have Team of the Year, rewarding the winningest teams in the entire Trackmania 2, competitive universe. Our first nominee for Team of the Year honors is Team Fury, winner of the Trackmania Masters Team Cup 19, as well as the initial season of the Trackmania Championship Series and Playoff Team Cup, and the Trackmania Open Team Cup 2019, as well as bagging themselves a 4th place finish at CPS 2019 to round off that pedigree. Second nominee of Team of the Year is Team Venture. Now known as Numalabs, the Team Venture lineup actually got himself a 2nd place, finishing runner-up in TC19, in Team Cup 19 Trackmania Masters, just behind Team Fury. They actually won also the 3rd edition of the Alimet Cup, finished themselves runner-up again to Team Fury on the Playoff Team Cup 2019, and they got themselves a 4th place finish at the Trackmania Open Team Cup 2019. Our third nominee for Team of the Year is Team Funtime. The Funtime team finished runner-up in the inaugural season of the Trackmania Championship Series, finished 2nd in the Alimet Cup, as well as the Trackmania Open Team Cup 2019, and also are credited as being the Grand Champion of the Trackmania Stars CPS 21. Our fourth and final team for Team of the Year honors is Team Pulse. The Dirt team has got himself a really good 2019 pedigree, with the 1st place with the Altair lineup in the Dirt Premiership, as well as 3rd and 4th place with the Vega lineup at the Dirt Premiership. Also finished in the 2nd edition, so won the 6-hour Dirt 2nd edition, as well as came 2nd place in the 24-hour Dirt. Moving on to our next category on our list, we have the Valley Player of the Year, which rewards the winningest players in Valley. Our first man, of course, being Riolu. Riolu having won 21 Smurf Cup Valley, as well as winning 1 TTC in Valley, 1 Play Fictional Enduro Cup in Valley, as well as getting 7 MXKO wins under his belt. The next nominee for Valor Player of the Year is Marius89. Marius actually won 1 Smurf Cup Valley, 7 second places and 10 third places, 1 win in TTC Valley, 1 second place in PEC Valley, as well as 5 race wins in the MXKO Valley. Our third nominee for Valley Player of the Year is Lars. Lars got himself 1 Smurfs Cup win under his belt, as well as a 3rd place in TTC Valley, won 1 edition of the Professional Endurance Cup, won 5 times the MXKO Valley. Our 4th and final contender for Valley Player of the Year is none other than Voyager 006. The Norwegian won 1 Smurfs Cup Valley and got himself 4 MXKO wins in Valley, as well as 2 second places and a 3rd place in the XD race. Moving on to our next category on our list, we have the Offline Event of the Year award, rewarding some of the best events that we've seen on terms of LANs this year in Trackmania in 2019. Our first contender for Offline Event of the Year honors is the Gamers Assembly. GA came back this year with a fully fledged once again with the surge in participation in tournaments held in full speed, dirt, and tech. Well represented in all disciplines, with a great turnout, with many players old and new coming to play, well organized, and a respectable prize pool, gave us another fantastic edition of this hallmark of the Trackmania competitive scene. Moving on to our second contender for Offline Event of the Year honors, we have the ZRT Trackmania Cup 2019. The 2019 edition of the ZRT Cup, held in Strasbourg, attracted over 7,700 spectators on location, as well as over 100,000 on Zerator's livestream, with thousands of participants signing up. This was the chance to showcase Trackmania at the biggest scene of the year, a scene we don't often see in the game. Our third nominee for Offline Event of the Year honors is the Spheris Cup 5th edition. The Spheris Cup came back this year with its first edition being hosted offline, bringing in an innovative map style, which resulted in some truly thrilling matches, which combined with a respectable prize pool and a refreshing attempt at diversifying the competitive environment with the theme of the maps, resulted in a very successful outing for LAN on for Spheres. Our fourth and final contender for offline events of the year honors is the Gaming Winterfest. The GW, despite being lower on the food chain this year with players having issues with the previous Gaming Winterfest giving them concerns of going, the top players still showed up, and Gaming Winterfest certainly went long ways to riding the runs from the previous edition, with a lovely map pack, some great matches played at different levels, culminating in a showdown between the then two Sumpy players, Kappa and Tween, facing off against the two former Sumpy players, Mathix and Dutchy, with Kappa winning the coveted title. Our next category in the Trackmania Awards 2019 is the online event of the year, rewarding the organization of some of the best, most popular online tournaments we've seen on Trackmania. Our first contender for the online event of the year honors is the Aliens and Casuals 3, a Ceramix hosted cup in which he selects the maps himself in order to be appealing for both competitive players, the Aliens, and the more beginner-friendly players, such as the Casuals. Over 1,000 viewers were reached in the two editions, solo and team editions that were hosted over 2 evenings of competition with many participants, as well as many map styles including Tech, Dirt, RPG, Full Speed, and Mixed. Our next contender for Online Event of the Year honors is From Zero to Hero. From Zero to Hero, brought to us by the staff, a group behind many of the top events of the past few years, gave us their swan song with the final tech tournament being organized with a community-funded prize pool and with a refreshing format and welcoming participation from players in all levels, but still maintaining a great standard of matches, with the best going up against the best in a few matches that will forever be remembered. Our third contender for the online event of the year honors is Kakiest Kaki. Kaki came back for third edition this year with its unique style and method of mapping, leaving a challenge for even the most experienced of tricksters the game has to offer. A hunt period lasting just over a month resulted in faces from all over the Trackmania community trying their luck on some of the most unforgiving maps we have seen on this side of the Impossible Trials. Our next category on this list is Skin of the Year, rewarding some of the best skins that we've seen. Oh, actually, forgot one nominee, sorry. We forgot one very important nominee. I got carried ahead of myself there, and it's the 24-hour race. Having been absent within the TM community for over 3 years, the very popular 24-hour race finally made its appearance again in September, attracting over 200 players in 52 teams in the simplest of formats, and attracting players from all different backgrounds under one competition, engaging at every level of skill with a complex but rewarding map. Mention is deserved to the staff for having completely rebuilt the plugin just for this event after MP4 rendered it unplayable, showing the dedicated staff base behind the 24-hour race matches the quality of the event itself. So then, after getting a bit carried away with myself there, we can move on to our next award up on this list, which is Skin of the Year, rewarding some of the best skins that we've seen get released throughout 2019 on Trackmania. Our very first contender for Skin of the Year awards is Pulse 3 by Ozix. This skin, right from the get-go, was the hot candidate for the top 4 in 2019. Ozix was one of those that created a really cool design by combining the triangular and rectangular shapes. The skin is unique in 2 ways, with asymmetric design and almost no text on the skin, which made this one really stand out from the pack. Our second nominee for Trackmania's Skin of the Year award is True Angels by Onto. This skin gave Onto a boost in 2019, who created a brilliant design divided into 2 main parts, black and white and colored. The white parts benefit from the addition to textures to them, while the black parts shine through the inclusion of a colorful feather design. Add Onto's detailing into the mix, and you start to understand why he earned himself a spot in this list. Moving on to our third contender for the Skin of the Year honors, we have Berlin International Gaming's livery by Shumi. The BIG livery from Shumi is not your ordinary skin, as it's only done with 2 colors, black and white. The shape design works like a charm with a combination of the black and white theme. The details on the skin, such as the German flag stripe on the helmet a la Sebastian Vettel, makes this one really stand out from the pack. Our fourth and final contender for Skin of the Year award is the Devil's One skin by Shumi. Shumi's second entry into this list is the livery he made for the Polish organization Devil's One. The combination of blue and purple hues with abstract shapes, along with Shumi's signature detailing work, makes for a skin that for sure turned quite a few heads, standing tall and proud above the rest. Moving on to the next category in our list, we have Skinner of the Year award, rewarding the people that have actually provided some of the biggest contributions and have been providing some of the biggest skins we had, or in terms of quantity. Our first Skinner of the contender for Skinner of the Year awards is none other than Shumi. This is actually pretty much expected for some people out there. Shumi provided amazing skins to the entire community, and especially for the biggest competition at the moment being the Grand League. Skins provided by Shumi are often exclusive, with the results of the amazing creativity. The second contender for Skinner of the Year honors is Color. Color has been consistent throughout the entire year and managed to provide high-quality skins from the Spheres Cup to the ZRT. The consistency in his work is remarkable, and with this, he deserves to be nominated. Our third contender for Skinner of the Year awards is none other than Anto. Anto has been the most productive of all in 2019, as well as improving his technique, and the overall look of the skins he made is over decent, with a few bangers being produced, such as the True Angels one that got him a nomination as Skin of the Year. Our fourth and final nominee for Skinner of the Year award is the up-and-coming Groof. An up-and-coming Skinner, he earned himself the fourth spot in this list thanks to his balance of technique and creativity, which has helped him provide some really cool skins, such as the Trackmania skin on Trackmania Canyon. Our next award up for grabs is the Performance of the Year, rewarding some of the most astounding performances that we've seen in Trackmania throughout the entire year. Our very first contender for Performance of the Year is Danik B at the 24-hour race. He participated in the most recent edition of the 24-hour organized by DDE. As part of Team Pizza's service, Miss Danik B dominated the overall average lap time. Yeah, I know it's leaked, sorry. He dominated the overall average lap time, being one of only 3 players to have an average of sub 4 minutes 16 seconds, being over half a second over his closest opponent, which showed that in such strong company, Danik B can excel over a long period of time, having clocked in a strong majority of hours in this team with 7 hours driven. Our second contender, as you can already see on the screen, for Performance of the Year is Papu at the Dirt Gamers Assembly. Gamers Assembly featured the highest level dirt event of the year, with Papu unmatched throughout the event. Comfortably securing a spot in the Grand Finals, he continued to show his dominance in the Grand Final as well. Competing against some of the best dirt players out there, including Fire, Aurel, and Kosho, Papu showed no signs of weakness and scored the points on every map. Whenever Papu made a mistake, he managed to switch gears and make incredible comebacks, displaying his true potential. At the end of the match, Papu secured the trophy with 40 points ahead of Fire in second place, and doing so in quick and consistent manner.
Kosho est toujours là, mais tellement loin, tellement proche et tellement loin à la fois. Pour l'instant, c'est Fire qui du coup se retrouve à la deuxième position. Et je pense que là, c'est fait pour Papu.
On arrive sur le dernier virage.
Plus qu'un dernier virage, l'appel. Et Papu qui va le faire, son troisième titre consécutif. C'est fait. Félicitations à Papu.
Our third contender for Performance of the Year award is the performance of the Czech Republic and Slovakia at the World Team Cup. In a tournament which had been very known for the domination of France, CEST provided in the summer of 2019 the current strongest lineup in Trackmania nations-wise. After being sent down in the loser bracket final by the Netherlands in the winner bracket final, they faced off against the Dutch in the grand final yet again. The Dutch awaited the Czechs and the Slovaks with great impatience. However, this turned out to be one of the most one-sided matches in any tech event of 2019, with CZSK completely dominating the Dutch squad with a total score of 21-3, and thereby securing themselves the title of World Team Cup champion. Our fourth and final contender for Performance of the Year award is none other than Carl Jr. at the Trackmania Grand League's Trackmania Grand League's steps. The community of Trackmania with the TMGL, the Canadian player Carl Jr. found himself at first place with over 636 points collected. over 50% more than the second place at Pack of 07. What's more impressive is that Carl Jr. finished in the top 8 on every single of the 10 steps, meaning he was on top half of the scoreboard over 50 consecutive matches against many of the best players in Trackmania. Nobody else even came close to doing the same, which really shows how dominant he was from start to finish of the Trackmania Grand League group stage. Moving on to our next category in the Trackmania Awards 2019. Next category is the Community Person of the Year. Some people rewarding the people that have made the biggest contributions to the community in any way, shape, or form. Our first contender for this honor is Erwin Weber. The man behind ASAC has been continuing to develop his matchmaker while doing a lot of other stuff, such as a global map pool with the goal of being used in any tech tournament depending on the demands, as well as hosting multiple solo tournaments with prize money, as well as hosting a number of podcasts in connection with ASAC to promote his project whilst discussing events such as Air France TM Cup and the TMGL playoffs. The amount of work he put during 2019 is starting to be recognized more and more and has the potential to bring the community closer together. Our next contender for Community Person of the Year is Lauz. Lauz came to be nominated for Community Person of the Year through his involvement in a great number of varied projects, and as which is a common theme in these nominees, coming in to fill the gaps that have been left in times gone past, spearheading the Trackmania news frontier, but also an important part in the organization of events like From Zero to Hero, along with outstanding quality in the visual department with movies and short previews dotted across many major tournaments of Trackmania. Our third nominee in the Community Person of the Year is none other than the man sitting on my Discord channel right now. It is Eirik Holdal. Eirik has been at the forefront of Trackmania journalism, providing in-depth coverage of both online and offline events, creating varied content to show behind-the-scenes action at events, as well as give the people the chance to hear from players and giving the players themselves a platform to talk to, as well as community figures and players alike. Having been one of the very few people willing and able to attend almost every event on the calendar, Eirik deserves a nomination for his contribution to the community in the cat that has been, out with his own contribution, sorely missed over the past few years. Our fourth and final contender for Community Person of the Year is Mike. Mike has been nominated for hosting multiple tournaments such as the Trackmania Open Full Speed, which was one of the biggest full speed tournaments of the year. In addition, he held a tech team tournament and a dirt solo tournament, which we were all received by the community, well received by the community. Besides that, the crew behind TM Open, led by Mike, made a big step up in the TM ranking system by adding complex formulas and adding solo ranking in major styles such as Mix, Dirt, Tech, RPG, and Full Speed. And Dirt, Tech, RPG, Full Speed, Mix. Okay, I got all these right. Moving on to our next category up on this list, we have Caster of the Year, rewarding people that have been casting with the best quality or have casted the most events. Our first contender for Caster of the Year is Necroa. Necroa might be the most frequent streamer of tech competitions we have in the game at the moment, being there for every tech team tournament of the year and casting in both French and English depending on the need. Casting in everything from online tech tournaments to offline LANs to... Oh, okay, wait a second. And Clip decided to rip. Okay, so we're gonna do without Clip, sorry. Casting everything from online tech tournaments to offline LANs to mix and dirt competitions really show the versatility of Necroa, and whereas other streamers focus on one style only, Necroa really does it all. Having streamed a total of 250 matches throughout 2019 in a lot of different environments and tournaments really proves the dedication that he has made, really proves his dedication and the contribution that he has made to the Trackmania community. Our next nominee for Caster of the Year is an obvious one. It's Riolu. Mr. Streamer has been casting pretty much every single big event in English this year, with the biggest crown being the TMGL beta season. And again, the clip doesn't work. Decidedly, this is not really working well. But he didn't cast just the TMGL. He got the Gamers Assembly from TACD to the Grand Final, from Zero to Hero Grand Final, playing a Dirt Cup Grand Final, and the list goes on so long that it's not able to cite them all. But with each and every cast that he does it with pure quality. Our third contender for Caster of the Year awards is Cousin. Team Venture's caster made it here simply because he casted pretty much all the tech events throughout the year. First up with Trackmania TC 2019, then the Trackmania Championship Series. He's also casted the World Team Cup French Team Qualifications. He's casted ZRT Cup and has been diversifying his skill sets in terms of various environments, such as Dirt with the Dirt Premiership cast, such as the semifinal, and Full Speed with the Full Speed League. Our fourth and final nominee for Caster of the Year Awards is none other than Scotty. While being a player for a top team in the tech scene and helping out in other areas of the Trackmania world, Scotty is also a very frequent and well-renowned streamer within the tech scene. His popular accent, together with a deep knowledge and understanding of tech and its players, makes him an interesting character to watch whenever you want to see teams and players of all levels go up against each other. Aside from streaming tech matches, Scotty has also casted events and matches from other competitions and styles, such as La Catalane, held in Perpignan, as well as a few matches from the Full Speed League and the Dirt Premiership. Moving on to the next category on our list, which I hope will work with the clip, is Movie of the Year. In fact, let's actually try to check in with how this goes. We're running some of the best movies in the Trackmania release scene. Our first contender in Movie of the Year honors is Run by T-Mania. Let's actually hope the clip works. Hey, it works! So, with Run, T-Mania takes you to a world of illegal street racing in deserted roads of Canyon. This fast-paced, Need for Speed-esque movie is a must-watch of 2019. Moving on to the next nominee in our Movie of the Year category, we have MCYC's showcase of the Zero Trackmania eSport lineup. Back in early October, MCYC released the presentation movie of Team Zero's lineup. But not only do you get to know their players and to see their skin, the movie gives you 3 minutes and 40 seconds of amazing camera work and lighting, perfectly fitting the fast and banging beat of its soundtrack. Our third contender for Movie of the Year honors is Limbo by Donix. Not only is Limbo a good Trackmania video, it is mostly a story. A story about the complicity between two cars, which surprisingly works really well. Donix has successfully achieved the prowess of making us emotionally attached to cars. On a technical standpoint, it's near to perfection. Insane camera work, perfectly chosen soundtrack, and well-balanced editing makes for a chilled and pleasant atmosphere. With all of its qualities, Limbo became a reference in terms of Trackmania editing from the word go. Our fourth and final contender in the Movie of the Year honors is the Gamers Assembly 2019 After Movie by Shorts. Shorts took over the reins of Pex's previous work to get the 2019 Gamers Assembly edition After Movie. He made this one into a work of art with brilliant camera work and perfectly handling the transition between game clips and real-life clips, which is actually quite hard. Add to that great color grading and nice music choice, and you now see what makes this movie unique. Moving on to the next category we have on our list, we have Movie Maker of the Year Awards, rewarding some of the most creative and productive, or the most productive movie makers inviting Trackmania in 2019. Our first contender for Movie Maker of the Year honors is Boom. Boom in 2019 marked the comeback of Boom on the editing scene of Trackmania, producing 5 very high-quality movies, including nothing else than a trailer of the beta edition of the Trackmania Grand League playoffs. We all missed your movies, Boom, welcome back. Our next contender for Movie Maker of the Year honors is Lauz. In 2019, Lauz showed off his talents through plenty of videos with high-quality center. From maps showcasing to trailers, passing by movies such as the brand at ZRT1, he made impressive progress in the continuity of his reels, and was in particular hired by Nadeo to be the official movie maker of TNGL. Over the year, the French video maker proved both his skills and his originality, making him one of the best video makers the TM community has at the moment. Our third contender for Movie Maker of the Year is MCYC. We no longer need to present him, he's already recognized as one of the best Trackmania video makers around. MCYC appeared like an evidence in the nominees. With a total of 11 videos uploaded in 2019, including movies, compilations, and tutorials, he kept this specific editing style that defined him in the past and used it to make impressive videos no one except him can achieve. Our fourth and final contender for Movie Maker of the Year Awards is Shorts. Nominating the 2018 Movie Maker of the Year seems to be quite obvious, considering how consistent Short was this year once again. His work, ranging from maps showcasing to movies, passing by skin trailers, are all of a professional quality standard, with highlights his incredible versatility only few on the Trackmania scene can pretend to have. But the most impressive is definitely his frequency of uploads. In 2019, he's uploaded 118 videos, which represents around 10 videos a month. This dedication is vastly known in the community, making him a reference in terms of Trackmania video making. Moving on to the 16th award out of 27 in the Trackmania Awards 2019, we have Streamer of the Year, rewarding some of the most consistent streamers that we've seen so far streaming Trackmania 2 Stadium on Twitch. Our first contender for this award is an obvious one. It's Spam, and the award is completely failed, and we're gonna go with it. Spam has streamed extremely consistently throughout the entire year. Mainly on Stadium 2, he's participated to a lot of weekly competitions as well as creating his own. He streamed his training and performance on important competitions with a high level every time, as well as casted a few others. He's also speedrun the Stadium 2 solo campaign at ESA and showed his adventure on some of the TM2 trial maps. Our next contender for this award, as the Spam map name comes back, is Ceramix. Ceramix is a French streamer mainly streaming on Trackmania 2. For Trackmania, he has a weekly schedule in which he tests and gives feedback on maps from the viewer, as well as competing in a lot of tournaments. So his streams are training on these maps with tech, dirt, full speed, and RPG, with the final hint of casting every now and then. He's also one of the most productive and consistent streamers around, with over 900 hours of streaming throughout 2019. Our third contender in Streamer of the Year Awards is Virtual. Alright guys, Virtual mainly focused on Trackmania Nations Forever, but also streamed TM2 and TM United. Most of his content is world record hunting for Nadeo maps and RPG maps as well as competition. He's progressed a lot throughout the year, as well as setting up a camera. He's also become a consistent streamer. Our fourth and final contender for Streamer of the Year Award is an obvious one. It's Burim, it's Riolu. It is Riolu. There we go. Here is the final picture. Riolu streamed almost every day during the entire year. His journey was about collecting a lot of solo campaign world records, no matter what version of Trackmania nor what environment. He was also about participating to weekly cups in some of the best events, as well as casting important competitions or smaller ones. We saw him speedrunning Trackmania Turbo at ESA, hosting events, and being an important inspiration of memes. Moving on to our next category on our list, we've got a lot of player awards coming here, guys. Bear with us. It is the Fastest Player of the Year award, rewarding some of the people that have set some of the most incredible times throughout the entire year of 2019. Our first contender for Fastest Player of the Year award is Kappa, as the name disappears yet again. Kappa is known for having the strongest and best records when it comes to competitive maps, with 7 out of 10 world records on the playoff map pack for TMGL, 4 out of 5 world records at the Gamers Assembly, and 4 out of 5 records at the Gaming Winterfest, 2 out of 3 at Man vs. Man Winter 2019, and 1 world record at the World Team Cup. Again, sorry for the technical issues, I can't really do anything about it. Our next contender for Fastest Player of the Year is another man that's disappearing, but I have it in my runner. It's Riolu. Riolu achieved his goal of getting all world records in 200 in the 200 campaign tracks in Trackmania Turbo, as well as getting 13 new world records on Nadeo tracks in TMNF. In TM2, he has consistently been getting locked records back within a short amount of time in Canyon and Valley, as well as in Trackmania United Forever, where he reclaimed the first place in the Nadeo leaderboard in-game. On top of that, he's also set fast times on various competitive maps throughout the entire 2019 year. Moving on to the third player on our list, we have Granady. Granady became an incredibly fast player in 2019. In just a few months, he got 57 world records on all Nadeo maps in TM United Forever. Additionally, he set world records in the United Solo competition, as well as the United League Reborn. He's also started to hunt down old League maps, where he also beats the old much hunted world records in quite a short amount of time. Especially in rounds mode, Granted, he is showing off fast pace as he is incredibly consistent with his wheel and can drive very close to his personal bests in matches. The fourth and final contender for Fastest Player of the Year honors is Novice. Being one of the newest additions to the top scene in tech, Novice has proven to be one of the fastest players already. While perhaps not having as many world records as the others listed, he is consistently in the top of the Dedimania on every map he trains, regardless of the maps being long and hard or short and easy. Although maybe the most impressive thing about Novice is the amount of times he has driven a top 3 Dedi in match, on maps which have been low life for weeks, which really proves that he isn't just a good hunter, but also able to set times in matches which very few tech players at the moment can match. Our next category for the Trackmania Awards 2019 is Dirt Player of the Year, rewarding some of the winningest players in the Dirt's playstyle throughout 2019. Our first contender for this particular award is Kosho. Team Venture's driver is notably credited as winner of the Trackmania Open Dirt Tournament, winner of the 24-hour Dirt with Fox, second place at the Trackmania Dirt League, and fourth place at the 2019 Gamers Assembly Dirt. The second contender for Dirt Player of the Year is Mad. The French player has won the Trackmania Dirt League as well as the third premiership along with Team Altair of Pulse. The third contender for Dirt Player of the Year is Fire. Winner of the Planet Dirt Cup and second place at the GA 2019 are a really solid pedigree indeed for the French driver. Our fourth and final contender for Dirt Player of the Year award, representing Poland, is Deska. Deska won the 24-hour Dirt along with Team Fox, reached the grand final of the Trackmania Dirt League and the Trackmania Open Dirt, and finished also fourth in both competitions. Our next award up for grabs is Full Speed Player of the Year, rewarding some of the fastest players of Trackmania in the fastest environment and most hectic one, Full Speed. Our first contender for Full Speed Player of the Year honors is Dan. Bets were mixed for the Trackmania Open Full Speed Champion title between Dan and Hunter, but Dan finally got the win in a tense round after both went in finalist mode. He's also won the Meta Cup with True Angels and dominated the 2v2 Masters with Mutta until it was cancelled. Dan has also been MVP of the Meta Cup whilst being with the team with Mutta, which just show how dominant he has been throughout the year. Our second contender for Full Speed Player of the Year, is Sinas Apple. Sinas has been an example of consistency and dedication over the last few years, always reaching the top of full speed competitions, finishing second in the Meta Cup, second in the Blown Cup, third at the Open Full Speed Trackmania tournament, and this year he went from captain of Aurora Racing to captain of Moomilovs, with both teams managing to get top spots in full speed team competitions. Our third contender for Full Speed Player of the Year is Hunter. Hunter almost won the TM Open Full Speed as both him and Dan were in finalists. Unfortunately for him, he missed the round that was so critical and let first place fly away from his fingers on his own map. He got second place as well in the Meta Cup with Aurora Racing. Hunter showed how fast he was at TM Open by taking all world records from the final map pool. Our fourth and final contender for the Full Speed Player of the Year award, the sole representative of France in this entire lineup, is Kid. Kid has always been on top of records and ranks and won the Gamers Assembly Full Speed this year for the fourth time in a row. However, the French player missed half of the TM Open Full Speed, the main Full Speed competition solo, and also got third place at the Meta Cup with Against All Authority. Earlier, he teased his future retirement from the competitive scene after the Gamers Assembly 2020. Our next award up for grabs is Tech Player of the Year. You're rewarding players that have made a name for themselves on the tech scene by winning some of the best competitions around. Our first Tech Player of the Year contender is none other than Kappa Martin Krompolch. Kappa has consistently delivered top placements throughout the year in both online and offline matches. Starting 2019 with a stellar performance at Man vs. Man, winning the event, beating Dexter in the Grand Finals, Kappa proved to be a benchmark of what a top player looks like. He then continued on to show his high-level performances by winning Gaming Winterfest, second place at the Gamers Assembly just behind Pac. If that wasn't enough, he also helped the Czech Republic and Slovakia to win World Team Cup, doing so in dominant fashion, as well as claiming the coveted title of Trackmania Grand League Beta Season Champion. Our second contender for Tech Player of the Year is Tween. When you think of the most consistent tech players of all time, Tween is one of those names that pops up every year, and 2019 was no exception. His ability is to consistently reach grand finals in any event he's attending has made him earn a spot as a candidate for Best Player in 2019. Notably, this year he hasn't played as many events as we'd expect him to, but once he did play, he was always a contender to win the event, or at the very least, secure a podium position. Whilst representing Sampi together with Kappa, Twee managed to get second at Gaming Winterfest and third at Gamers Assembly, both times being closely denied by Kappa himself. He's also been a key player of the CEST team domination, helping them secure the World Team Cup 2019. Okay, sorry. Just setting up a few things. Our third contender for the Tech Player of the Year award is Panic D Danik B. Throughout 2019, Danik B was a name that brought terror to his opponents in any online event he played. And even though he didn't attend the big LAN tournaments, no one underestimates Danik B when it comes to online tournaments. Starting off with strong performance in man vs man, Danik B was close to defeating Kappa in semi-finals, where he fell short after close tennis mode finishes. Relentlessly, he continued the streak of great results by acquiring the best average of players in the DDE 24-hour race, playing for over 6 hours and being unmatched by some of the most consistent players out there. In the second half of the year, Danik B delivered an incredible performance from zero to hero with Razor and reaching the grand finals, showing outstanding consistency throughout the event. He's also been a big factor in the World Team Cup win for CZSK. He's finishing off 2019, Danik B managed to win the Trackmania tournament ahead of Solja and Massa. The fourth and final player contending for Tech Player of the Year award is Dexter. Known for being able to set some of the fastest times and being consistently fast, Dexter has been a threat in online competitions for the last few years, and 2019 was no different. Continuing on his pace from 2018, Dexter started well by reaching the grand finals of Man vs Man, where he was beaten by Kappa after a close tennis mode finish. Later on in that year, Dexter focused on playing team competitions with THE, where he has been consistently among top overall performance, participating in a long streak of online tournaments, including TCS, TMM, PTC, TMO, and TMS. Lastly, Dexter participated in tournaments from Zero to Hero together with Madgorian, where they dominated the group stage, and with that earning Dexter a spot on this list. Our next category up for grabs is RPG Player of the Year, rewarding some of the best players in the RPG playstyle. Our first contender for RPG Player of the Year awards is Tourist. First place on Atlas 2 on the solo ranking in Time Attack. He's also won the 20th edition of the Night Cup. He's also been second place in Atlas 2 in the team ranking with different events, and he's got over 50 new world records on RPG maps this year, including Maru, Elium Londor, and Sagatahara. Our next contender for RPG Player of the Year awards is Skandir. Skandir won Night Cup number 19 and got first at the event of Atlas 2 in rounds. He got the second place at Pulse Ziza RPG Contest 2019 and third place at the fourth event of the Atlas 2 Knockout. He collected a number of world records on an important number of world records on TMNF RPG such as Technological Breakdown, Big Brother, and Lost Mine for the most famous non-classic yet ones, and he's collected several classics, 3 of them still unbeaten at the end of 2019, such as being Fall Guy, Cabal, and The Day After. Our third contender for RPG Player of the Year is Chocolate. Chocolate won the 7th event of the Atlas 2 being in rounds. He's got second place at the team ranking on Atlas 2 with different events, second place at the first event Atlas 2 in rounds, and got third on Atlas 2 in the solo ranking Time Attack. He's third overall in solo performance in team events on the Atlas 2, and he's got over 10 new world records on RPG classic maps this year, including Forum Hadriani, Nosastra, and Wounder. The fourth and final contender for the RPG Player of the Year is Virtual. Virtual got first at the Pulse Ziza RPG Contest 2019 main event and these special events as well. He's collected, improved, uploaded, or fought back for many TMNF RPG classics, including Montezuma's Treasure, Detroit, and 4 Powers. He still owns 23 out of the 38 classic TMNF RPG world records by the end of 2019, a staggering 60.5%. Our next category up for grabs, our next award up for grabs, I should say, is Most Improved Player of the Year, awarding some of the people that have made a big step up throughout the entire year of 2019. The first contender for the Most Improved Player of the Year award is Afi. Afi has probably been a known name for many people at the beginning of the year, but throughout 2019 he made a name for himself with strong results in many competitions, winning a TTC Mixed Edition in January, as well as participating in big cups making it to the grand finals of the Air France Cup. At the end of 2019 he showed up with a second place in the Planet Dirt Cup, winning huge prize money in the process. Furthermore, he's also started Trackmania Turbo Trackmania Turbo journey, which he completed at the mid-March 2019, which he completed at the middle of March 2019 with 200 STMs collected. Our second contender for Most Improved Player of the Year award is Gwen. Gwen became the man to beat in many big competitions with huge amounts of prize money involved on mixed map styles during 2019, winning the Spheres Cup where he clean sweeped his opponent for 7 rounds in the beginning of the grand final. As well as winning the Parallel Universe Cup and the Next Event Royal Cup and LT Cup. In addition to that, along with teammate Wengobear as part of Gwenobear lineup, he reached the semifinals of the ZRT Cup played in Strasbourg. Our third player contending for Most Improved Player of the Year awards is Sebi. Sebi must have been known by very few people before 2019 started, and 1 year later, he's already won tournaments with Fury, arguably the best tech team of the year, claiming himself a secure spot in the lineup. Having only played competitions for less than 2 years, it's very difficult to reach such a high level in that short amount of time, but Sebi has proven to handle it very well. If he continues his development at the same pace, who knows what level he will have in 1 year. Our fourth and final contender for Most Improved Player of the Year award, Most Improved Player of the Year contender number 4 is Granady. Within 2019, wheel player Granady raised up to be the man to beat in TMUF. He showed up already with many WRs in the United Solo Competition Quali Map Pack, but sadly wasn't able to play the semi-finals. Later on, he won the second edition of the United League Reborn with his team TSM, where he carried the team in multiple environments with a sheer speed and match consistency. In the Mini Sunday Formula, he got multiple great finishes, including a few wins in No Trains endurance races, and won with his team Snacks the competition. On top of that, he got 57 world records on old Nadeo maps in 2019, as well as a few world records on some very old league maps and within the TM1 title pack. Our next category up for grabs is Match of the Year, rewarding some of the most thrilling matches that we have seen so far in Trackmania throughout 2019. Our first contender for Match of the Year honors is the Man vs. Man Grand Final. Coming in early, Dexter and Kappa met in the Man vs. Man tournament organized by Hanmania, facing against each other in the Grand Final with names such as Yo-Yo, Papu, Danik B, Masa, and Omnipods falling by the wayside on their way to the Grand Final. A very high-level match, even coming into tennis mode between what was regarded as arguably the best offline tech player and one of the best online tech players going blow for blow, with Kappa eventually coming out on top with 2 hard-fought maps, leaving Dexter in the second, but with the well-deserved second place in such a strong field. Our next contender for Match of the Year award is the From Zero to Hero Grand Final. The final between Team EXE and Liz Escargot went right down to the wire, with both duos listing some of the hottest talents of tech at the time of playing, and the times reflected that, with teams going blow for blow with each other in a match that could have gone either way, with some of the highest stakes of an online match we had ever seen. Which brought out the very best of players, and is a deserving nominee for Match of the Year, with Team EXE taking home the grand prize with a closely fought first place. Our third contender for Match of the Year is the Spheres Cup quarterfinal. The Spheres Cup had insane quarterfinals. One of them was a match between 4 powerhouses Gwen, Hugo, Reizo, and Piranha. It was a back and forth battle for all players within the match, with Reizo and Gwen getting finalist mode first. But Piranha denied them both and got himself into finalist mode in the next round. After the match switch, we missed incredible races, and which were all decided in the end. Hugo denied everyone to get the final status for himself, and in the following round, crowned his comeback in a quadruple finalist round with another first place. Piranha was the player to take second in that match. The crazy thing is that these comebacks, combined with multiple finalist rounds repeated right afterwards in 2 additional quarterfinals in the Spheres Cup, make this an incredible day for Trackmania. And our final contender for Match of the Year awards is none other than one of the ZRT Cup's quarterfinal. With the introduction of new and Festi blocks to Trackmania, Zerator made quick use of them for TM Cup 2019. These new blocks may set the stage for the exciting quarterfinal number 3 to happen. Featuring 4 duos of well-versed players, this match had no clear winners until the very end. Gwen and Wingobear managed to qualify first, but the fight for the second duo win was as intense as it could get. When it came to finalist rounds, players from each duo managed to secure positions, leaving 3 players to battle for the only remaining positions. It was all decided in a triple finalist round just after a map switch, with enormous pressure on each player to not let his teammate down. In the end, it was all all to be decided on the last quarterpipe jump, with Ayako and Dofalt being next to each other. Ayako's risk for a very low jump paid off and earned him a spot to the offline part of the cup together with Wozil. Our next award, in the TM Awards 2019, award number 24 out of 27 is Competitive Map of the Year. We're awarding some of the best competitive maps, the curated list of competitive maps that we've seen so far in Trackmania. Our first contender for Competitive Map of the Year is Voyage of Time. The destination of the second edition of 4 Styles Cup was Voyage of Time by Wouter, and showed again his rather unique map style from his previous map from Edition 1, successfully combining elements from all Trackmania disciplines, with tech, dirt, full speed, and RPG being strongly represented in the map, which lasted just under the 10-minute mark, but held a consistent flow as typical with his mapping style, combining different sections effortlessly, resulting in a map while being difficult, all worth the effort, and resulted in some spectacular battles in the event between some of the strongest all-rounders we have seen competing. The second map contending for Competitive Map of the Year honors is GA 2019's Exhale. A lovely collaboration between Wouter and Bastimon. The two got together to make a map which brought a level of difficulty to a short length of map using new mixed with old, resulting in a breath of fresh air for players lucky enough to have this as a part of the Gamers Assembly map pack. Our third contender for Competitive Map of the Year honors is Shogunai. This is arguably the best map of the year, built by Dorian Raid, one of the best mappers in Dirt in the first part of 2019 for the most prestigious competition in Dirt along with the PDC. The combination of new and old mixed very well together. A clean Dorian Raid map representing his style that is very innovating. The fourth and final contender for the Competitive Map of the Year award. You've been waiting for this one to come. You already guessed what it is. It is Tides of Time. Map created for the last TMO FS 12 low competition for the group stage phase. Firefox, mapper of this beauty, is well known in the FS community for his creative maps. This map particularly has a lot of magnets, which you have a lot of trouble to master them because you are able to no-grift or drift on them if you steer too much while going on it. The flow of the map is really fluid, and there are a lot of opportunities to greed on lines to gain more speed out of your speed drift. This map offers a lot of good rounds and remontadas. Award number 25 of the Trackmania Awards 2019 is Competitive Mapper of the Year, awarding some of the people that have contributed the most to the competitive map pools in Trackmania. Our first Competitive Mapper of the Year contender is Slays. Slays has contributed many maps in Dirt and principally in Dirt, with 5 maps contributed to the Planet Dirt Cup, 1 map to the Trackmania Dirt Tournament, as well as the TRF, among others, and the TMS Dirt. Second contender in Competitive Mapper of the Year awards is Kaisla. Kaisla has contributed most notably 1 map in the Trackmania Grand League in Man vs. Man, as well as Gaming Winterfest, Gamers Assembly, TMM Team Cup, World Team Cup, and his most significant contribution being 2 maps from Zero to Hero, 1 map in eTechmania, and 2 maps for TMS, as well as the Christmas Enduro Race map. Our third contender for Competitive Mapper of the Year is none other than Thompson. Thompson contributed was the maker behind the 24-hour map, 1 map with 3 versions for the fourth quarter of the Esports Arena Challengers competitive map pool, 1 map for Gamers Assembly, 1 map for the Esports Student Series, and 1 map for TMGL. Our fourth and final contender for Mapper of the Year award is Wouter. Wouter has been the one behind the Voyage of Time 4 Styles Cup map, as well as contributing 1 Trackmania Grand League map and 2 maps for Gamers Assembly. Alongside that, he's also contributed 1 map to the TMM Team Cup, 1 to the World Team Cup, and 1 for the Air France Cup. TIL, it's pronounced Wouter. I pronounce it Wouter. I'm really sorry, guys. Anyways, we're getting towards the end, guys. 26th award is Player of the Year. We're awarding some of the people with the biggest pedigree in 2019 and who have had the biggest impact in the competitive scene. Our first nominee for Player of the Year award is Kappa, the winner of the TMGL Beta Season Champion. He's also won the Gaming Winterfest 2019 as well as Man vs. Man Winter. He's also came out second in this Gamers Assembly Tech Tournament, and along with CZSK, he has won the World Team Cup. The second contender for Player of the Year award is Papu. The Gamers Origin player has finished first in the Gamers Assembly Dirt, winning it for the 3rd time. He's also came up the runner-up in the Trackmania Grand League beta season and the Air France Cup, and concluded that with a 3rd place finish in the ZRT Trackmania Cup 2019 along with Pack. No, I think it's Cap. Sorry, I keep confusing the teammates. I'm really sorry. No, it is Cap. Sorry. Moving on to the 3rd contender in the Player of the Year award, we have none other than Thomas Cole, Pack himself. First place in the Gamers Assembly Tech, which he won just in front of Kappa. He got himself also the runner-up spot in the ZRT Trackmania Cup 2019 along with Dorel. He also finished 2nd in the group stage of the Trackmania Grand League, and also came out 3rd in the Grand League beta season, playing the Grand Finals. And of course, the final nominee, you're already waiting for this one, it's none other than Carl Jr., Carl-Anthony Cloutier. First place in Trackmania Cup 2019 along with Bren as part of the duo Solary. He's also finished 1st place, as we said, with 636 points of the Trackmania Grand League group stage. And unfortunately, he would have been able to play the Grand Final, but unfortunately he was unable to attend, thus leaving other players to duke it out and for a really rightful title. Here we go, lads. This is the moment that you guys have been waiting for this entire time. Final contender, final award up for grab. Sorry for the delay right here. Final award up for grab. Moment of the year. The moment that has been sticking out of everybody's mind throughout the entire year of 2019. Our first contender for our first contender for Moment of the Year award is the Playoff Team Cup's triple tie. This moment is from a PTC group stage match between Team Venture and Team Fury. We are still on the first map with both teams already delivering, with viewers witnessing an incredibly close battle each round. Score is 6-5 for Team Venture, which means that if they win the map, they win the map if they secure this round. With Link crashing earlier, the remaining Fury players need either a 1-2 or 1-3 finish to stay alive in the map. But when luck is not on your side, it at least makes up for some interesting moments that we've never seen occurring before.
Will they hold it? Will Venture win first map? Very good and by Renew will go a bit too wide. Renew has good speed. Will Renew make it? No. Renew won't. Oh, actually it's triple tie. Triple 49.98. What the hell? What the fuck?
Our next contender for the Moment of the Year awards is going to require a little bit of imagination. Picture the scene, folks. Trackmania Grand League Playoffs Consolidation Final. The final round between Pack versus Bren, deciding 3rd place. With Spam unable to attend the Grand Finals, the winner of this round goes to the Paris Games Week to play the Grand Finals against Papu and such. The tension is at its peak. The battle is fierce on track. And then, this happens.
Bren with the drift. Pack gets a bit more exit speed. Who's gonna get it now? It will be Bren that chokes a little bit. Not to get speed! And they both crash into the same pole! What do you mean? And it will be Bren! No! No.
Luckily, there's a happy ending for both players, though. Pack and Bren will be able to attend to the Grand Finals, as Carl Jr. was unable to attend himself, thus playing the Grand Final. Our third Moment of the Year contender is the Aliens and Casuals 3 Solo, tie for 2nd. This is from the match from the Aliens and Casuals Solo Tournament Finals. Bren having already won the map, it was up to Bad Lulu, Gwen and Dofal to battle it out for the 250 euros awarded for 2nd place. Gwen and Bad Lulu had the finalist status, but Gwen made an early mistake into the round, which means only Dofal can deny Bad Lulu in this round. Bad Lulu is diminishing with the last few turns, but when the stopwatch can determine the winner, the game can.
Ahead of Bad Lulu right now. Bad Lulu down to 2nd place, and Dofal needs to risk it here for the top finish. But Bad Lulu with that inside line, but Dofal gets the left finish. It is a tie! And Bad Lulu gets it! Bad Lulu wins with this tie.
Our fourth and final contender for the last award, Moment of the Year, is Muda's speech. Muda developed a sort of addiction for video games, specifically for TM2, TMNF, and Need for Speed, which ruined his life, and he wanted to get rid of that. He had a life to be lived, moments to share with his family and friends, which is why he decided to stop video games and get out of the gaming environment to focus on his health, family, and life in general. He's described how this game and the community made him feel good throughout his years of gaming, how much his community has been grateful and beneficial for him when he had bad moments in his life, which has been one of the most touching moments in there to see Muda say goodbye to the world that he left. And on this rather emotional note, this concludes the list of all of the nominees for this year's Trackmania Awards 2019. 108 nominees for 27 different categories up for grabs. Now, we are reaching already towards the end of this stream, and I know it's a bit sad to kind of end it on, but I want to give it to Eirik to say the final word of this particular nomination stream.
Well, now the nominees are out, and you can go to tmawards.org to actually vote. You have 2 weeks to vote. I see a lot of people are passionate in the chat. If you want to further discuss the nominations with the jury members and why some are in, why some are out, you can join the Discord that I sent multiple times in the chat. And it's nice to see many people being passionate. And if you're passionate about it, maybe think about joining the Trackmania Awards 2020, so the job will be easier. I see a lot of people being passionate now, but I had actually a hard time finding jury members for this year. Luckily, I got the GGeek in the end, who has now been talking for 1 hour straight. I asked him on 1 week's notice to do this, and he stepped up and do it. So I think everybody should give him a follow, and maybe he will be the big winner at the Trackmania Awards 2020. But most important part, go to tmawards.org to vote. We'll have 2 weeks, and then at the end of April, we'll hopefully have the results revealed to the community, and make sure to vote for the one you think is deserved of that, and maybe not only the guy you like the most. I see some people bring up the argument that this is just a popularity contest. Well, maybe it is, but you can change it if you actually vote for someone you think deserve it instead of the guy you maybe like the most. So I guess that's my final words, and I see you in the end of April with the results.
Alright, so thank you, Eirik, for these kind words, and I want to take the time to thank you guys for tuning in, for sticking with us throughout the entire technical troubles that we had. It's always like these with these Trackmania Awards. It seems as though we got a technical problem somewhere, and this one has been riddled with it. We were supposed to get done with it by January, and it took we had a huge 3-month delay to kind of contend with. Eirik can actually recall that really perfectly. But yeah, I hope that despite all the technical troubles, despite all of the bloopers that can actually emerge from this ceremony, I hope that you guys still enjoyed what you saw and still enjoyed this original nomination ceremony of the TM Awards 2019. This has been it for me. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you next time on stream. For me tomorrow, it is going to be the French cast of the French Championship coming up, with the English cast of the TMM Team Cup 2020 lower bracket final and grand final to conclude everything in the weekend. And yes, this has been it for me. I'm going to be signing out with the final intro of the TM Awards. Thank you very much for watching again, guys. We'll see you next time.